It's Tuesday afternoon. Your dog is following you from room to room. Not anxiously, not because they need something, just staying close. Most people assume it's habit, random attachment, a leftover from puppyhood, but that's not what's happening. Your dog made a decision about you. Not gradually, not over weeks of good behavior on your part, in one moment. One specific, unremarkable moment you probably don't even remember, but your dog does. And everything that came after, the way they watch you, the way they choose you, the way they position themselves between you and the door, all of it traces back to a moment so ordinary you likely walked right past it. Let's start with what most owners believe, that trust builds slowly. Meal by meal, walk by walk, 1,000 small kindnesses adding up like deposits in a bank. It sounds right, it feels fair, and for years that's exactly what behaviorists taught. But the researchers who spent decades studying canine attachment found something that sounds almost nothing like either explanation. In 2019, a team at the University of Lincoln studied 74 dog owner pairs under controlled stress conditions and found that trust didn't accumulate evenly. It spiked hard during what they called critical vulnerability windows. The dog encounters something uncertain, a loud noise, a stranger too close, the floor feeling wrong beneath them, and in that narrow window, often lasting less than 90 seconds, the dog is scanning, not for food, not for comfort in the way we think of it, for one thing, proof of safety from the person nearest to them. If the owner responds in a way the dog's nervous system registers as safe, something changes permanently. The researchers measured it. Cortisol dropped, heart rate variability stabilized, but more than that, the dog's behavior toward that specific person shifted in a way it didn't toward other familiar humans in the same household. One moment, one response, and the foundation was set. Think about what that means for the dog sitting beside you right now. Somewhere in their past with you, maybe recent, maybe years ago, there was a moment when they were uncertain and you became the answer. A 2021 study from Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest tracked 52 dogs across 6 months and found something even stranger. The trust anchor moment didn't need to be dramatic. It didn't require heroics. In fact, the most reliable trust anchors were almost invisible. A thunderstorm where the owner didn't react with panic. A vet visit where the owner stayed calm and close. One dog's anchor was a moment when a bag fell in the kitchen and the owner simply picked it up without flinching. What mattered wasn't the size of the threat, it was the owner's regulation. The dog reads the owner's nervous system faster than the owner reads their own. And when the owner stays steady while the dog feels unsteady, the dog's brain registers something it can't get anywhere else. Not from other dogs, not from routine. A mammal who stays calm when I am not. A body I can borrow regulation from. And this is where it changes. That moment doesn't just create trust, it creates what attachment researchers call secure base behavior. The dog begins to use the owner as a reference point, not for commands, not for food, for whether the world is safe right now. In 2020, researchers at Oregon State University studied 38 dogs in novel environments and found that dogs with identified trust anchors returned to their owners 71% more often than dogs without them. Not because they were trained to, because their nervous system had marked that person as the place uncertainty gets resolved. The owner became the dot the dog returns to when the world stops making sense. Here's a question almost nobody asks. If the trust anchor happens in one moment, can you miss it? Yes, and many owners do. The dog is afraid. The owner tries to distract them, offers a treat, changes the subject. The intention is kind, but the dog's nervous system reads it as dismissal. The fear was real, the response was avoidance, and the window closes without an anchor setting. Let's be specific about what this means. If your dog is scared and you rush to fix it, you teach them the fear is a problem. If you stay calm and present while they feel it, you teach them the fear is survivable. One creates dependence, the other creates security. But here's where it gets interesting. Most advice about building trust with dogs is backwards. Owners are told to be consistent, predictable, to establish routines and maintain them. And consistency matters, but it's not what creates the bond. The bond is created in inconsistency, in the moment the routine breaks and the owner stays steady anyway. The walk that gets cut short by rain, the visitor who arrives unannounced, the night the dog is sick and the owner is just there. Not fixing, not lecturing, just present. That's when the dog decides. A 2018 study from the University of Vienna tracked 61 dogs over 8 weeks and found that trust behaviors, prolonged eye contact, physical proximity seeking, synchronization of movement, all peaked not during routine, but during routine disruption. The dogs who trusted their owners most weren't the ones with the most predictable schedules. They were the ones whose owners had stayed calm during unpredictability. Think about the last time something went wrong in your home. A package delivered to the wrong address, a pan that burned. Your dog watched how you handled it, and whether you knew it or not, you were teaching them whether chaos is survivable in your presence. The myth almost every owner believes is this, that love and trust are the same thing, that if the dog loves you, they trust you. And it sounds true, but researchers found they're not even correlated. In 2017, a team at Duke University studied 83 dogs and measured both attachment and trust independently. They found dogs who showed high attachment, following, whining when separated, greeting intensely, but low trust. These dogs loved their owners, but they didn't use them as a secure base. They clung, but they didn't settle. The difference was this. Attachment says, I need you. Trust says, I am safe because you exist. And you can see it in the smallest moments. The dog who follows you but won't relax until you sit. That's attachment without full trust. The dog who lies in the other room, not watching, just existing near you. That's trust. They don't need to monitor you. Your presence is enough. But the detail that changes everything is this. Some dogs never get a trust anchor moment. Not because the owner failed, but because the moment never came. The dog was never afraid in the owner's presence, never uncertain in a way that required steadying. And without that moment, the bond can be warm and functional and even loving, but it lacks the layer that researchers found in their deepest pair bonds. The dog who trusts you at the level of a secured anchor doesn't just love you. They've tested the bond under pressure and found it held. That's different. That's weight-bearing. And once it happens, it doesn't undo itself. The trust is stable, permanent, unless the owner does something that directly contradicts the safety the dog felt in that first moment, betrays the vulnerability the dog offered. Here's what the research actually found. You can repair a lost trust anchor, but it's harder. It takes more windows, more consistency under pressure, because the dog has to unlearn that you're safe and then relearn it. But if the anchor is set and protected, it compounds. The dog trusts you in the storm, then in the crowd, then in the strange room with the strange smells and the vet approaching. Each moment of you staying steady while they stay unsteady writes another line of code, and the bond deepens in a way that looks, from the outside, like the dog just adores you. They do, but it's more than that. The quiet warning is this: watch for the moments your dog is uncertain. Not every uncertainty needs your intervention, but your presence during it matters. If your dog is startled and looks to you, meet their eyes. Don't rush to distract. Don't dismiss the feeling. Just stay calm. Let them borrow your regulation. Let the moment pass with you as the constant. That's the window. It doesn't announce itself. It just opens. And how you show up in it determines whether the dog files you under safe or under unpredictable. And if you've already missed a few, that's fine. The windows come back. They always do. Life is uncertain. Dogs feel it. The next one is probably tomorrow, maybe tonight. You'll know it when the dog goes still and watchable. That's your moment. It's Tuesday afternoon. Your dog is following you from room to room. You thought it was random. It's not. Somewhere in the past you shared, there was a moment that you needed steadying, and you didn't flinch. You probably don't remember which one, you were just being you. but they remember, and everything that came after, the following, the watching, the way they choose to exist in the same room as you even when nothing is happening, all of it started there. In one moment, one response, one decision your dog made that you were the safest thing in their world. And they've been proving themselves right ever since. What's the most surprising moment your dog has chosen you over something they usually love? Next time, we're looking at the ways your dog feels loved that most owners miss and the science behind it.